Welcome to the Lovell Brothers Show. My name's Dave Lovell. This is brother Adam Lovell, and his other brother Robert Lovell. And this is the Lovell Brothers Show. And it's our first one, and we wanted to have our first guest on. This happens to be a Lovell brother from another mother, from Colorado, from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Originally from Oregon, though.
Yeah, originally
Born
from
in
Oregon.
Hood River,
Yeah.
Hood River.
And yeah, welcome to the show, Adam.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, yeah.
How's it going?
It's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just enjoying our time here in Brookings and excited to see y'all. Excited to spend some
Cool.
time here.
Yeah. Adam's been pretty active with like the permaculture, gardening projects, and it's really inspiring because he's helping like low-income communities like get more sufficient with their own food source, and get children involved in farming, getting them stoked to get produce to the farm to table, and he's been leading the way. You did what was that video you were in?
Yeah, there was a fundraiser for the growing project called Colorado Gives Day, and they filmed a video, and that's online now. So
Okay, so
yeah.
if I know how to do this, I'll put a link to that. So when this goes online, I'll have a link to that video so you can check it out. And it's really slick, very nicely done. And you'll see our brother Adam. And it's a really nice production.
Cool video.
Yeah, cool video.
Yeah, that's good. I've been doing that since 2016, working for the growing project, doing urban farming and teaching people how to grow and learning how to grow and growing vegetables.
Cool.
It's been a good time.
Yeah.
Good time,
I'm a good little doggy. So, what's this show about? Well, we're not making it up as we go along. We're trying to do have some culture, positive vibes, have guests on, talk about things, maybe play some music if there's room for it, and just try and share some interesting stories and something that's worth listening to. And Adam, do you have any questions you'd like to ask us?
Last night, yeah. Well, coming here is interesting because our father passed away a couple years ago, and so now y'all are really the people that live around, that I'm family with, and I've been going to like decolonization workshops, trying to listen to voices of the marginalized people in the U.S. And one thing I keep hearing is like, you should learn about your own history, and that'll help you, and that'll help us to make the world a better place. So last night you were talking about our family's lineage and some of the people that you know about from our ancestry, and I think it'd be a really cool thing to record that.
Yeah, I mean, why not talk about Lovells?
Who the hell are the Lovells?
Who are the Lovells? What does the Lovell name mean?
Lovell.
And where is that family from?
Yeah, because you're right. It's like our name is bridging across the ponds. It's it's American and it's this European ancestry. So it's kind of like it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think the root Lovell is like it's either Old French or Old English, and it means wolf. I've heard different descriptions,
French.
French, like young, like I heard young female wolf.
Yeah, female. Yeah.
And there's like a coat of arms with 3 red wolves, but its origin is Normans, like Vikings that settled in France and became the Normans. Like they settled in Normandy, and then eventually they invaded England and settled there. And so our ancestry has that Norman descent, although we're like grew up the English, we've got this sort of Viking descent, but it's also blended with Celtic Celtic bloodline, Pengelly, that's like mother's father, and also our mother was half French, so we've got sort of French Norman and French and Celtic all sort of merged together with your.
But also, it's like it's like wolves. Do we have that characteristic of wolves?
Yeah, there's a pack.
Yeah,
the
we
pack.
talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, do we kind of like pack up together like like wolves pack up, or do we?
Yeah,
That
there's
fighting. Do we fight?
yeah we had
Wolves are interesting.
yeah no we had a great uncle that he was following our genealogy because he was really fascinated with it, and I guess the way it goes is we're related to Lord Francis Lovell, who was King Richard III's like right-hand man, like in the 16th century. I think that's when it was read.
16.
And William Shakespeare, wrote the play Richard III. So our ancestor, Francis Lovell, is in that play, and Shakespeare would write certain plays as sort of record keeping to like let's not forget this chapter of history.
Right, yeah.
So Richard III was a very important event, things that went down, and our ancestor Francis Lovell was his right hand man.
Is that the Tudor times?
Oh God, yeah, some
All the Roses.
some
Yeah.
Battle of Bosworth and all that, and there was a saying back in old England of the cat, the rat, and Lovell, our dog, ruleth all England under a hog. And so that was like the coat of arms. Like Richard III was the hog, and the cat and the rat were like the minister, like finance and the church, head of the church. And then Lovell was his the right hand, like the Game of Thrones kind of thing. He's like the right hand, and so it's some interesting history there. But supposedly we're descended from Lord Francis Lovell. So it's a little bit of history right there.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Good lineage, but what happened?
What happened? So there's like mysteries of because he disappeared. Yeah, disappeared. Either went to Scotland or fled to France.
No, he got walled up, did he?
There's the legend of being walled up in an abbey. Yeah. So not too sure what happened to him.
Yeah. No, it's a strong line though, I think.
Yeah.
The Lovells. But
So now we have this America-England connection.
Right.
And we're English originally, but we've been living in Oregon for the last 28 years. And we've been running a print shop. We live on the southern Oregon coast. And we're avid windsurfing, because it's like world-class windsurfing in the southern Oregon coast in Pistol River. So that's what brought us here.
pipeline or
Yeah, I mean, the pipeline was built at Standing Rock, and it has recently leaked, which is terrible. And
is that the same? There's two, isn't there? Two pipelines in it, Keystone. I think one of them
there's the
was
Dakota Access Pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's leaked up there, and the movement has never stopped.
Yeah.
Standing Rock has continued on in different forms, and the relationships and ideas that were started there are continuing. And I feel like if anybody wants to get involved, they can go on Facebook and look up the Black Mesa Fall Caravan on Facebook, and there's a link there to a GoFundMe to bring wood to elders in Denata, which is in the
It's so
deserts of
cold.
Arizona.
Cool.
Out there now. Need it.
Yeah, and there's just always a way to get involved with Indigenous solidarity in your area.
Yeah. Keeping it
Definitely.
local.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure about the Indigenous communities out here and what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we got the.
You're close to Ottawa.
Yeah,
Those
the
are-
Tolowa, and
yeah.
then the Yorick. Yeah, and they're pretty active. Tolowa are active. I have friends with some of the Tolowa, and I love, they share their culture. They're keeping their language going. They're actively, they keep their traditions going. They're very close with, we live on the coast, and we have these lovely rivers, and they work with those resources in a sustainable fashion that's been going on for thousands of years. So they have a lot of local wisdom that we could learn a lot from. And
that'd be a good podcast.
Yeah.
Somebody from the Tolowa reservation on to promote that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the goals of this show is to have people on it just talk about culture and talk about like ways of keeping the future bright and positive, and just having different inputs about what we're doing to make the world a better place. Like actually, kind of keep going forward. It's an interesting time to be alive on the planet, and got to keep the what I call a living vision, where we're all sort of working towards a common future goal, where we're all sort of working closer together and closer to the earth, and helping one another. And but we feel like we want to jolly it up and play a bit of music and keep it cheerful. Yeah.
So fun things you've done out here since?
Yeah, we went to the ocean today and boogie boarded. That was a fun time.
Brutal.
It was super good. It was fun.
Cold. It was good though, wasn't it?
Yeah, the ocean's
awesome.
nice. Yeah, we went to Thunder Rock
Cove. Yeah, beautiful.
Walked around over there. Yeah.
Cycle, bike around.
Bike to the port.
Yeah.
It's been a good time.
User friendly place.
Yeah. Brookings is nice. Brookings is really nice. Yeah, it's definitely good. I know y'all have a good gardening climate here. Y'all can grow anything.
Yeah, we can.
So
definitely grow your greens. Eat greens from your backyard every day. Why not?
Get those greens going.
Yeah. That's what I think. The main thing with gardening is just to grow greens for yourself.
So what did we have the other day? We had bitter greens.
Yeah, we had arugula. Arugula grows like a weed.
There you go.
Kale grows like a weed. You can have kale all year round. Like the most expensive shit, is the greens.
Yeah.
And that's so easy to grow.
Yeah.
Greens are so easy to grow. It just takes the work of going out with a knife and chopping it down, and just do that every time you eat a meal. Just go back in the backyard.
And there was a lot of there's actually a lot of native plants here that you can eat too.
Yeah, there's like wild mustard greens everywhere.
Yeah.
Super tasty.
The radish. Isn't there one?
It's that same family.
Right.
Yeah, there's sea kale around.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely encourage people to just learn about the plants of their area and what they can eat, and then grow it in their garden.
Yeah.
Because it grows super easy. The stuff that grows
don't have to look after
already. Yeah, the stuff
right.
Right. Eat the weeds. Grow the weeds. It's like what I think. Because then it's super easy and it doesn't take any effort.
No effort. And it's natural too. It's a native plant.
Yeah. Y'all are lucky to have a climate where you can grow year round.
Yeah, we have not a lot of frost here, so
right.
That's we can pull it off. And
definitely worth it to do for your health and for your, your.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying. It's.
And we went to almost pick mussels, didn't we?
Yeah, I wonder. Mussels. Yeah, mushrooms.
Yeah, it's been a good mushroom season this year,
and
2019.
Trying to, be reciprocal with it, never taking more than you need.
Yeah.
Trying to, spread the spores of the mushrooms. Trying to clean up some trash while you're picking up the mussels.
Yeah, totally.
Giving back every time you take,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, never take too much.
And are you all going to be doing anything with growing shellfish?
Well, right now we've got a problem with bull kelp along the west coast, where there's been a shift in ecosystems, and the sea urchins are taking over, and they're eating the bull kelp population, the young bull kelp. So people are looking at ways of harvesting sea urchins to kind of like knock them back so that the kelp can recover. So there's interesting, supply. So there's actually, it's a delicacy for
uni.
Uni, yeah.
Unfortunately, like they, if they run out of bull kelp to eat, they'll lay dormant, and their gonads won't grow because they need that. That's how they feed them out. So they'll stay dormant for over, was it like 10 years? So
Yeah,
and they're
incredible.
not worth harvesting because they have no fat,
Shriveled,
fatty gonads. So they're a problem. So
Yeah.
You step on one?
Ouch.
I have stepped on one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But it's sort of, there is people talking about harvesting them and then that doing so that would help.
it's almost like
That's cool.
it's like gorse,
Yeah, you got to knock them back.
So
they'll
you've got
take
just
over.
just go in there and take them out.
And the other, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things. Like there's this red seaweed. It's a species of Palmaria, and it's people being able to like turn it into a edible. A lot of seaweed's edible, and this particular red seaweed. So folks, I think in Portland have figured out how to kind of dry it and crispy it and make it taste like a sort of vegan bacon. So up in Port Orford and Newport, they're researching it as it's Palmaria these other red seaweeds. They grow across the entire northern hemisphere. So that's something that's being grown.
Audience is asleep.
The audience is asleep. Blah 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 blah.
It's time to drop the pants.
Drop the like
It's time to drop the pants.
circus performers.
I can do a handstand pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Right
don't know
here.
if I should do it right next to the microphone.
I could hold your legs.